Welcome to Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade. I'm Gabe Henderson. That's Ben Leber. Ben, going into this game, the goal was to clinch the North, wear our big hats. We didn't do that today.
Yeah.
Hopefully we do that next week. But I want to rattle off some positives before we get to some of the things that led to the Vikings victory. Justin Jefferson, 223 receiving yards, most in franchise history in a single game. Dalvin Cook now moves to fourth all-time in rushing yards in Vikings history. Kirk Cousins, 426 passing yards. Tied, I think it's his most ever as a Vikings quarterback. So those are the positives, but I want to go to the negative. Dalvin Cook, not his best game, only 23 rushing yards, and going against a defense that, was the top five, I guess bottom five in the league, and when it comes to yards allowed in the run game. Why were we not able to get rushing yards today?
Yeah, man, they gave up over 5 yards, or right around 5 yards a carry going into this game, and they beat us up, and we had 1.3 yards a carry. Yeah. We only had 22 yards rushing. I mean, the way I see it, I just feel like we got a little bit predictable on first down, knowing that we were going to run the football, at least attempt to run the football. So they were bringing some heat, an extra linebacker in the A gaps. We weren't necessarily picking it up. We got into some compressed formations where they're bringing a nickel blitz on us as well. We saw Mike Hughes in there a few times, former Viking, making some plays in the run game.
Who's the nickel?
I just thought, what's that?
Well, how would you describe a nickel cornerback when you say nickel blitz?
Well, when I say the nickel blitz, it's usually the defender that's on the inside slot receiver. Okay. And I just thought that even though we tried to spread them out at times and we were in a passing personnel, we just got a little bit predictable, and they were like, hey, we're going to bring a blitz. Now, it can turn into a run blitz if you guys want to run the football, but if you guys decide to play action, well, hopefully we catch you off guard and we bring a little extra pressure on the play action pass as well. So I thought they did a good job of just understanding situational football on first down, bringing some more pressure. We didn't do a good job executing it and even picking it up and understand that that's what they were doing. And so we try to run the ball on first down and stuffed at the line of scrimmage, tackle for loss. We just couldn't get any rhythm because their success on first down.
How would you describe the energy going into this game? I'm just thinking about the opening drive for our defense. We stopped them, I think, before some 3 and out. Then our offense is a turnover on downs. So how would you describe just the energy of how the game started versus how it ended, which ultimately ended in a loss?
Well, I thought the game, was really evenly matched. I mean, I thought our guys were energetic, ready to go. I mean, like I said, we have a chance to clinch the NFC North and put our big hats on and put our champion T-shirts on. There's a lot to play for in this game. So I thought the team was motivated. I thought they were energetic. It's just that over the course of time, when we are attempting a little bit of a pop pass there at the end of the first half where Dalvin gets the ball and then throws the ball in the end zone to a wide open receiver, which he would have been, he fumbles the ball. The momentum goes back the other direction. I think just plays like that where we couldn't get things going. And with a big physical team that the Detroit Lions are, they're going to grind things out on you, and they're going to suffocate you. And I feel like that's what happened. They took our energy, they absorbed it, and then they just kept going and kept beating up our offensive line. They were doing a great job in pass protection offensively. We couldn't get any pressure on Goff, and thus here we are with the loss.
Yeah, granted, we were shorthanded on our offensive line. Garrett Bradbury was ruled out right before the game. Christian Darrisaw, starting left tackle, did not play also, but Kirk still threw for 426 yards, and it looked like a day that you thought he was just going to continue to have a career day. Time just ran out. But moving on the defensive side of the ball, Harrison Smith was out, future Hall of Famer, Pro Bowl safety. That, I believe, affected this defense. Today marked the 5th straight game we've given up over 400 yards on defense. What did you see out there that led to some of those big yardage?
I think they were smart. Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, did a good job of really attacking our safeties and really asking Metellus to step up in Harrison's absence and be the guy. And I think there are times where, I think that very first touchdown, he jumps the inside route, and then Jamison Williams comes from across the field, and he just sort of acted like he didn't see him. He didn't play with great vision. Later on in the game, they used some single routes to really eyeball the safety, play off his leverage at the last second. So they did a good job manipulating our safeties. And both, Cam Bynum had a couple bad plays in there as well, where he's jumping routes, not exactly seeing the deeper route behind him. So look, you got to take your hat off to them and give them the proper due, because it was a smart game plan. they attacked our vulnerabilities, and with a guy like Harrison Smith out, they knew to go right at that spot.
Yeah, rightfully so. And just understanding that we hopefully have Harrison Smith back next week. We've seen how this Vikings team has bounced back from its previous 2 losses. You would hope things would get better and we can clinch the division, clinch the division next week against the Indianapolis Colts. How do we do that?
Well, I think defensively we have to get some pass rush. I don't know where it's gone. We saw a little bit of it early in the game where we were getting Goff to get outside the pocket and really rush his decision making. But, for the most part, when you look at the totality of the game, we just couldn't get after him.
Yeah.
We tried. There was some 5-man pressures. We do some exotic things where, we'll put Jordan Hicks out as an outside rusher, and we'll have Za'Darius rush over the A-gaps on kind of a 2-way go. Sometimes that works. It's just not consistent and not especially in spots where we got to have those plays. And so we have to find a way to rush the passer, and then we have to find a way to run the football. In our 3 losses that we've had on the season, we only averaged 52 yards on the ground.
Wow.
So I think running the football, maybe doing it a little more creatively outside of first down will be key.
That will be key to us wearing the big hats next week at home. We're not wearing big hats, but I do want to clinch the division next week, and there's a really good chance to do so. So for Ben Leber, Jordan Struck, my name is Gabe Henderson. Thank you guys again for tuning into a double-digit edition of Between the Lines fueled by Gatorade. Let's make it 11 next week.